welcome to In the Rising podcast. I'm your host, Bettina Brown, and this is the platform from which I talk to you about living a life without the captivity of guilt and regret so that you can use your self-worth to live an empowered, independent, and free life. Let me start off by saying that I am not a licensed counselor, psychologist, or psychiatrist, but I am a student of life and a healthcare professional who absolutely loves to research and loves to talk about the topic of self-empowerment, self-worth, self-value, and living an awesome life. So, have you ever wondered what keeps you or other people around you inspired, motivated, and disciplined to follow through on things that they're pretty much interested in? Whether that be a relationship they're very much dedicated to, or they just seem to follow through with their goals and their plans. So I kind of had that in the back of my mind when one day I was scrolling. Yes, I do scroll, and I had read a post by someone who joined a writer group that I'm a part of, and they said that they were excited to be part of it and excited to be motivated to continue on writing. And someone commented to that post writer and said that motivation has nothing to do with it. It's all about discipline. No questions asked. I thought the response was a little abrupt and a little rude, but it did get me thinking, and I don't think that comment was completely off base. So because I love to research, I am very nerdy in that way, I actually looked up motivation and inspiration. And so I'll start off with motivation, and I will admit that I was a little disappointed in Merriam-Webster because they use the word in their own definition. But basically, it's motivation is when you are pulling something out of someone. You're pulling someone into an action or trying to motivate them into an ideology that is not consistent with themselves. And motivation can either be a positive experience, such as a high five, you did a great job comment, pat on the back, huge hug, excitement, or it can be negative, where someone is telling you that you can't do it. You are not good enough. You're not pretty enough. You're basically not enough. That's what it boils down to. And I had that experience with me in college when I was trying to get my biochem degree. And what was standing between me and my biochemistry was calculus 2. Now, I am not a fan of math. I will make it through algebras, but calculus is really my endpoint. And I was describing this to someone who is really good at math. You know, that person that you explain differential equations to, and they're like, yeah, I get it. And they're not lying. They really do get it. And she said to me, Bettina, there's nothing wrong with a biology degree. You won't have to take this class. Like, you should just do that. And you know what? She's right. There's nothing wrong with a biology degree. It's a great degree. But it's not what I wanted. And it wasn't what my goal was. So I also know, because I'm a girl and I know how girls talk and I know tone. And it was not a positive tone. She was trying to talk down to me. And in that moment, I made a determination that I will get this biochem degree. And yes, it took 5 to 6 hours of calculus for 6 weeks straight, but I got through that class, and yes, I got the degree. But it was a negative motivation for a positive result. I looked up inspiration also, and it's from Latin or Greek, depends on who you want to listen to. But inspiration is from the Latin word of inspirar, or to breathe into, or breathe life into something, or to take life out of it. And when you're looking up the word in Greek, it means to influence. So when someone is giving you your keynote speech, I guess I'm back in college days today, at the end, they're trying to inspire you to live your best life. They're trying to inspire you and encourage you to find that thing inside of you and have that push you to what you want to do. So motivation is pulling you. Inspiration is just that internal push. But then where does discipline come in to this whole effect? And I think it deals with both. I'm reading a book called The One Thing, and I'm going to have the information in the description below. But this author talks about how if you focus on one thing, you can, either through motivation or inspiration, achieve that one thing you want to do. And he talks about discipline. He has a whole chapter about it. And he throws out the words that we hear all the time, like you just need more discipline, or you need to be better disciplined, and you need more of this. And his argument is that really none of us need more discipline. We just need to employ the discipline we have more effectively. And he highlights this. He says that there are plenty of research articles out there that state our brain literally works better right after we wake up and right after we've eaten, because our brain takes power, and you can't kind of generate more willpower. You either have it or you don't. He calls it similar to a tank of gas. You either have the gas or you don't. So use the time that your gas is full, your brain is full of discipline, potential discipline. You use it for its capacity. And how you use that discipline or how you waste that discipline is up to you. So it made me remember all these times when they have the 4 a.m. group and get up at 4 a.m. and work out, or get up at 5 and do this. And to me, that's really early, but that is also my best writing time. How that comes about, I have no idea, but it is. And right after lunch, I'm a little bit more excited until the rest and digest phase comes in. But it really honed in the fact that it is so important to recognize and be aware of how your body works. And your body doesn't work like mine, and mine doesn't work like the one next to me. But just using that will help us stay motivated to follow through on things we are inspired to do and inspired to be. So how can we do this? Like, what's an action step? And it went back to what I've been reading over and over again. And one of those people I've been reading is Gary Greeno, and he's the author of the Legacy Game Plan, 4 Keys to Living Intentionally. And his number one is kind of like Steve Harvey's number one and Rachel Hollis's number one. You have to write it down. And why is writing it down so important? Or what is it? Okay, I wrote it down. Is that supposed to mean something? And it did bring back some more memories from college. I'm in a college phase, I guess, today. And I was in science class, and we had to take a sheet of paper, measure it precisely, and put it on the scale, weigh it out. Then we had to take that same piece of paper, write our name down and our dream down, like our dream profession, and put it back on the scale. And it weighed more. And so this was a figurative and literal kind of experiment. So it showed you that literally your name and your dreams have weight. And it's our job to pull together tactics, strategies, education, life experience, pull that together to make those weighted dreams a reality, because they have some weight. They matter. It is matter, and they do matter. And the other part of that is when you know this, when you write down your things that you're grateful for, when you write down your dreams, and you look at it over and over, you carry it with you, or you put it somewhere where you always can touch it, look at it, be reminded. The weight of those words are on your heart. They're on your mind. They're in your spirit. And the more you are linked with that, the more difficult it is to turn away from what drives you, from what excites you. You can't escape it. And I thought that was just kind of a neat thing of how everything relates back to something really, really simple. Write it down. So what I'd like to say today is I hope that this episode was somewhat valuable for you. And if you find that it was, please leave me a review, subscribe on this platform. You can also email me at Bettina@intherising.com, and I have this information posted below. And you guys have a great day.